If you look at the back of your Bible, it's the very last book. It's called Revelation. This is the Revelation of John. In chapter 12 of Revelation, John says, "Now war arose in heaven." He's seeing this as a vision. The Lord is showing it to him as a revelation, a vision right in front of his eyes. "Now war arose in heaven, Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon. And the dragon and his angels fought back, but he was defeated, and there was no longer any place for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who was called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him." In the book of Jude, which is right before Revelation, he mentions, "And the angels who did not stay within their own position of authority, but left their proper dwelling, he has kept in eternal chains under gloomy darkness until the judgment of the great day." In the book of Job, it records where there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord said to Satan, "From where have you come?" Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking up and down on it." What he's saying here is basically he's putting himself in the place of God. He is doing whatever he wants, going from place to place, checking everything out, looking at everybody, seeing what everybody's up to. Basically, he's saying, "I got this place under control. I know what's going on." The prophet Isaiah records in the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, he says of one of the disobedient sons of God, he says, "You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven above the stars of God. I will set my throne on high. I will sit on the mountain of assembly in the far reaches of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High." He's recording here the thought that he had in his heart that he would glorify himself, that he would bring himself to a high place, to a place just as great as God. Now, if we look at the book of John, which accounts for when Christ was on earth, you can see here Christ praying, and he says, "Now my soul is troubled. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this purpose I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." What Jesus is saying here is, I know I came here to do this, but it's harder than I thought, and man, I don't want to do it, but I know I gotta. So he's saying, "Father, glorify your name." And he's sacrificing. He's saying, "Go ahead, do what you need to do." Then a voice came from heaven, "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." So he had an answer. He got a word to stand on. The crowd that stood there and heard it said that it had thundered. They didn't actually hear it, and that's because they didn't have ears to hear. Others said, "An angel spoke to him." Jesus answered, "This voice has come for your sake, not mine. Now is the judgment of this world. Now will the ruler of this world be cast out. And I, when I am lifted from the earth, will draw all people to myself." And he said this to show by what kind of death he was going to die. if you look right there where he says, now is the judgment of this world. That is when judgment started. We have been in judgment since.